If Black-owned restaurants want us to support them, they need to support us and also support the people who work for them. Let's talk about it.
Y'all already know what time it is. I got the black V-neck on.
What's going on, you all? We gotta have a conversation again about Black-owned restaurants. I had a recent experience at a Black-owned restaurant, and I'll tell you why I'm using quotations later. This conversation has been had time and time again, and I want to offer some nuance. After the experience that I had a couple of weeks ago, it has brought a lot of perspective, and the news of all of these Black-owned restaurants such as Slutty Vegan, Bar Vegan, Turkey Leg Hut, even the infamous Darius Cooks, whose restaurant Greens and Gravy closed down several years ago. The list goes on. And although I'm talking about celebrity-owned restaurants that just so happen to be celebrities that are Black, I want us to understand that this issue isn't something that is exclusive to just celebrities. Black-owned restaurants have been taking advantage of us for a minute now. And I feel like it ramped up during the 2020 pandemic and all of the uprisings. And I want to discuss that. So I want to say that I do understand the anti-Blackness and how hard it is for Black folks to get capital, the struggles and all the things to own a Black business. I definitely get that. I've seen the conversations about the appointments with the hairstylist and the infamous you not getting your deposit back or someone showing up late and not providing a credit. I need for Black owners of any business to understand that you are doing something for community. And I also need for folks to understand that Black capitalism will not save us. And for the Black folks who own these businesses, you have to realize that if you truly care about Black folks, you'll be showing up for your employees. And a lot of you all have been taking advantage of them as well. So to bring things into perspective in this conversation, I used to be a server. I worked in the service industry for years. I worked in Memphis at many restaurants, Olive Garden, Red Lobster, Bar Louie. I was even a banquet server. So I understand the restaurant industry in and out. I've always been big on providing a good experience when I was a server. And that's just always been me. The thing that I am not understanding when it comes to these restaurants is that you all have a lack of care for your customers. And you nickel and dime every little thing because you do not have the capital, which I understand. It's hard for you to access capital. But the issue comes to me when you all are pulling up in luxury vehicles. If your employees are struggling getting back and forth to work, not making enough money to make ends meet, then you are no different than the white-owned restaurants. So what makes you exclusive? What makes you different? Because if you're taking advantage of Black folks in the process of Black representation, then you are a wolf in sheep's clothing. So let's go back to 2020. I know some of you all do not want to go back, but we have to talk about 2020 and how we got to where we are now 5 years later. So back in 2020, we had the pandemic and the uprisings. We had the response to Breonna Taylor's unaliving. We had the response to George Floyd, all of the protests. If anything, capitalism is going to offer a solution. And the solution to all of these things was presented, hey, you all need to buy Black. You need to open up a bank account at a Black business. You need to support Black folks, which is a good thing. We should support folks in our community. Keyword community. We need to be investing in people who are invested back into said community. A lot of these things have been presented as community, and they're everything but that. So you saw Uber Eats, DoorDash, and all the other delivery apps promote, hey, support Black businesses. And for a lot of quote unquote liberals, this was around the time that Nancy Pelosi was taking the knee, and you had all this performative stuff that was going on with the streets being named Black Lives Matter and all of that. So a lot of liberals, white liberals, were, hey, let's support these Black owned businesses, and Black liberals as well. Like, hey, let's support. And it wasn't necessarily a bad thing. I thought it was, hey, we're losing a lot of Black businesses faster than the other restaurants. Black owned restaurants didn't have the capital to stay afloat compared to their white counterparts. So they suffered. And a lot of those restaurants have not came back. We were losing restaurants before 2020, to be honest. If anything, the pandemic accelerated that. So now we're seeing these Black-owned restaurants benefit from the protests and the struggle for equality. And a lot of you all have taken advantage of that. And I want to say that it's not all of you all, it's some of you all. We're seeing the conversation with some folks having issue with Black folks boycotting Target. And hey, y'all need to be out here buying books at Target. I need to be able to make my money. These people were never concerned about community. They were never in some called solidarity with everybody else. It was always about the dollar. And it just so happened to be Black. And now we're in 2025 and we're seeing time and time again, Black-owned restaurants taking advantage of their employees. If we're being honest, all restaurants, for the most part, exploit workers. I mean, all businesses do that to a certain degree. Restaurants in particular, no matter if it's Black or white, exploit workers, specifically service workers, by not paying them a wage, a decent wage, or even a livable wage. They are requiring they make money off of tips. And folks understand everybody does not leave a tip. And sometimes it's not enough compensation for the work that they're doing. But the restaurant is, hey, that's not my issue. Do work harder. They even do this with the line cooks, if we're being honest. A lot of them, no shade, hire immigrants, which is no issue, but they can pay them less than someone else. They also have a thing I've seen plenty of times also working in the restaurant industry where they hire people who cannot get jobs somewhere else, people who have been incarcerated. They take advantage of that because they can pay them lower wages compared to somebody else who may be qualified because you're going to take this because you can't find a job anywhere else. So now we understand how exploitation works. So we need for you all to up it up. You just can't say Black-owned restaurant and expect me to patronize and come. Do you care about Black folks? Do you care about community? Are you giving back to said community? So I had an experience at this restaurant called Rocksteady. It's an infamous restaurant in Atlanta. Everybody talks about it. The vibes are good, all of the things. And I didn't even know that I had been there before. I was taken by one of my close friends and the food was good. This was around 2021, 2022. Fast forward to 2025. I had an experience going in and they require you to have valet pulling in. Understandable. I'm okay with paying valet. I'm looking at the restaurant. I see the prices and I know what I'm going to pay. With that being said, I also am expecting a specific experience. So if you're charging for these things and you're higher than the regular restaurants, I need for you to up the experience. I'm pulling up in a restaurant with a terrible parking lot and you're asking me to pay $20 for valet. Restaurants that Rocksteady wants to be on the level of them usually offer valet and just tip the parking lot attendant. That's usually what happens. This restaurant, $20 to come in, $40 to get VIP valet. Y'all are not Lenox Square Mall, but y'all want to be, which goes into the nickel and dime and everything. Go inside. I love calamari. I enjoy food. All my friends know I will spend some money on some food. I enjoy food and a good experience at a restaurant. I don't mind. I'm seeing something that is unheard of in all the restaurants I've been in. $25 for calamari. $25. Any appetizer that is up in the 20s, it has to be on a certain type of level. Calamari is one of the cheaper appetizers. Usually the average price is $13 to $16, but $25 is egregious. And I'm expecting premium calamari because, hey, you're charging $25 for calamari. I'm expecting it to be better than what someone else might be offering for $16 or $17. It's not. They don't even have the baby squid. The batter is falling off of the not even fresh calamari. Like, y'all charging $25. I'm looking at the martinis. They're $18. My date asked for a martini to be made with gin. The drink comes to the table and it's vodka.
It's chocolate.
And not only is it vodka, it's Tito's vodka. Tito's is a great value vodka. I have had it. I know what it tastes like. I don't have any issue with it. I don't drink vodka like that. So when a server recognizes that the mistake has been made because we told him, hey, this was supposed to be gin. We asked for gin instead of vodka. Normally, what happens is the server will go tell the manager or the bartender and they will remake the drink. They won't charge you for it. In the service industry, you're not supposed to, quote unquote, comp liquor. So bypassing that, they will make the drink over and not ring it up. And the way they can account for this is restaurants know and have a number of how many food orders are going to be sent back, how many drink orders are going to be sent back. That is the price of doing business. Any business that's telling you you can't send food back or you can't send drinks back and all that, automatically, it's a chop. If you have to tell your patrons that you cannot send food back, you can't send all of these things back, that means to me that you don't have the capital to be able to keep afloat. And it also looks silly when y'all are pulling up in G-Wagons and Bentleys and acting as if y'all have money that y'all do not. So we get another drink and it's made with gin. First and foremost, to be charging $18 for a martini with Tito's vodka makes absolutely no sense. It is a great value vodka. You should be starting at least with mid-tier vodka. You're on the bottom shelf with your well, which doesn't make sense considering you want to be this upscale restaurant, but you're nickeling, diming, and overcharging. Y'all are no different than the clubs and the bottle service at this point. I don't trust y'all. And I'm not saying this is something specific to black-owned restaurants because actually, Rocksteady is not even a black-owned restaurant. Come to find out, it's owned by two white Haitians who take advantage of black culture, who also, white Haitians have been known to colonize and take over and exploit Haitians in Haiti. So you are out here charging $18, $19 for Tito's vodka martini and $25 calamari. Absolutely makes no sense. So the end of the night, it's time to go. I've ordered food, the check comes, and I am charged for the martini. I didn't even raise any issue. I just said, hey, you know what? I'm not going to say anything. I just won't be coming back. I had to get the server's attention, and that's the last thing I like doing. I think the issue with this service comes to the 20% gratuity being automatic and the server not really doing the work to get the tip. And it actually hurts the service if we're being honest, because some people like myself will leave 30, 35% if it was an amazing night. If it was an amazing night and the service was good, yeah, like let's up it up because there is no limit. There isn't a limit. You have servers who are not attentive. On a service like what Rocksteady is trying to give, I'll give an example of Marcel's, one of my favorite steakhouses in Atlanta. They have multiple servers and they have a server attendant that is making sure that everything is good, because Rocksteady is almost on the same level as a $75 to $100 per person restaurant. It might be 50, but when you get up to that, like 50, 75 per person, a little bit more is to be expected. And especially if you're charging $25 for an appetizer. So the check comes, I request a valet on the website, I leave a tip. There's a $5 convenience fee to use my card. $5 convenience fee. I'm like, okay. So with that being said, I probably have spent $40 on valet, $25 for valet, and $7 for the tip to the valet attendant. I leave to go get my vehicle, and then I find out that, hey, from the valet attendant says, hey, we do not receive the tips that y'all leave on the card. We don't get those. And some people might argue that he might be lying to get extra money or whatever. I believe it. I've been to a couple of restaurants and have asked, hey, if I leave a tip, who does it go to? And they'll say, hey, we get paid hourly. We don't get the tips. Even delivery service apps have been called out for doing egregious stuff like this. If you leave a tip that is higher than normal, they will lower the pay for the DoorDasher. Stealing wages, basically stealing wages. And I believe it. Like, it's not something that's specific to restaurants. Everybody does it. Again, we're talking about capitalism. So I then send a cash app to the valet attendant for $15. I will never be coming back to this restaurant though. And I feel bad for him not receiving his tip, but this is nothing that is unheard of. As we pay attention to all of the other restaurants that have closed or have had legal issues, like Bar Vegan, owned by Pinky Cole, where her employees sued her for wage theft. Some of their tips were withheld. And this is nothing that is exclusive to Pinky Cole as Slutty Vegan and even Bar Vegan. We go to restaurants that are owned by you all, and y'all are charging 20-30% more than everybody else. That's the reason why Spellman decided to get rid of Slutty Vegan inside of Spellman, because it was too expensive. It makes no sense. Like, you're a Black-owned restaurant, but you're exploiting us and the workers. For what? For you to be pulling up to open up another restaurant under another name and with a Bentley sitting outside that somebody just so happened to steal? Like, I have questions for y'all because y'all ethics seem to be messed up. Moving on to Texas with Turkey Leg Hut, who had a history of talking down to Black patrons, requesting all types of things for them to come in and sit down at his restaurant. Now we're finding out that the FBI is investigating him for arson, for paying people to set his restaurant on fire, for insurance scam, for insurance fraud. Like, you're fraud. And a lot of y'all are fraudulent. And I don't trust y'all. I don't trust Black capitalists. And y'all have been hiding under Black exceptionalism and Black excellence and support Black when y'all don't care about Black folks. If you care, you will be doing more for your community. And I'm not talking about giving $500 to the local whatever. Pay your employees at the very least. If you're charging me 20-30% more for food that other restaurants are not, pay your employees more. You should be setting the standard higher. I don't want to hear, well, other restaurants do it. Okay, so what sets you apart? Because you are relying off of support Black. And that's just not to Black-owned restaurants. That's to Black businesses in general. Like, you all have to step it up. You all need to appreciate your people coming in. I'll give you an example. I went to Crew Lounge a few years ago, Portia's baby daddy's lounge in Atlanta, and did not have the best experience. But I will say, Dennis recognized that I did not have a good experience and comped, brung me a bottle out. That's how you do it. Make people feel like, hey, this person appreciates my business. You all want to be glazed. Y'all are doing this for ego. That's why y'all want to pull up in y'all G-Wagons and your Bentleys up in the front. Makes no sense. Shout out to one of my managers at Olive Garden some years ago. Y'all remember those days where my manager, Miss Shirley, miss her dearly, very sweet woman. She got on my nerves, but she told us, hey, you don't park in the front. The front is for guests. What does it look like you parking in the front and the guests don't have parking that's close to the store? You all don't care about that. Y'all want us to see that y'all rich, and y'all are not. Because if you were rich, you'll be taking care of your employees. If you were rich, you'll be taking, I would think, because that's what we're at. Hey, support Black. When all y'all doing is exploitation. All y'all are doing is exploitation. And when that's not enough, y'all are resorting to scams and insurance fraud. I was in the middle of getting my hair washed to get a retwist, and one of Darius Cook's former employees at Greens and Gravy stopped me and said, hey, do you know Darius Cooks did not pay us the last 2 paychecks? He just closed the restaurant down. And again, this is nothing that is specific to Black-owned restaurants, because Bahama Breeze just closed its doors not too long ago and didn't even inform the employees. So again, I'm asking the question, what makes you different? If you are exploiting your workers, you're doing all of this, then why do you need to stay up? Why is that? What makes you different that you're Black-owned? That's not enough. And it should be enough for us. We should be requesting more. When it comes to these clubs, I'm not going to a club that security is talking to me any type of way. I'm not going to be dealing with that. I'm leaving. Girl, we are in the middle of a 4-year recession right now. Money is tight. The girls ain't even paying their Klarna bills no more. They never had it to begin with, to be honest, and Klarna was taking advantage of them. Capitalism again. But I'm not going to be giving y'all money and y'all out here talking to me. I'm not doing that. We need to request more. The bottle service has ruined the club experience because they want to make money off of everything. And they recognize that we, for the most part, society, are more interested in having a moment on social media, which is why you have bottle service and everybody's VIP. The illusion of everybody's VIP. It needs to be a select few, but you can be VIP for a price. And we find out a lot of these clubs that do bottle service are not even using the liquor that they're giving us in the bottle. Like, there's a conversation about a lot of these clubs pouring cheaper liquor in the bottle and just resealing it, taking advantage of us. So we're not going to fall for the black exceptionalism and all of that. At least I'm not. And you shouldn't either. We should be asking more. Y'all want us to come in and support you based off of being black owned, and then y'all are taking advantage of us and as well as your employees. And one thing I've always come to understand is once you steal and take from your employees, they're going to take from you even more. Ask me how I know. It's the reason why I don't shop at certain grocery stores. There's a certain grocery store I refuse to go to because y'all don't pay y'all employees. So I know some ribs that's been sitting in that basket for a minute, they're going to put it back out. They don't care. Same thing with no shade. Old Lady Gang. I told you all that restaurant's going to close down. Candace restaurant, Old Lady Gang, could not keep employees long. He was overworking them. That's what they said. A lot of them who worked there said they were being overworked and not paid much, to the point that Old Lady Gang was charging almost $20 for a margarita with cheap tequila. And y'all have us packed in these restaurants like sardines. Like, I'm so close to the next person, we all might as well be on a date. Matter of fact, make this the open table for all of us to sit down and get to know each other. Like, y'all are doing all of these things and then y'all want to come out and ball hard. I'm so confused. Y'all are exploiting us and your workers, and you don't deserve to be open. You're not entitled to be a successful restaurant. You're not entitled to that. You don't deserve that. You don't deserve, if you have to exploit workers and do all that, you don't need to be open. I don't feel sorry for y'all when y'all close. There's one club in Atlanta, I cannot wait till it close down. I hope I'm alive long enough to see it close down because they take advantage of us all the time. And they're not the only one, but the whole idea, because it's about greed, which makes you no different if you're white, black, queer, or any of these things, because a lot of y'all don't care about community. You only want to promote it as its community, but y'all are stealing from said community to move and live away from community because y'all don't like these people. Y'all show us with having the police harass black patrons, how y'all talk to folks because y'all are tolerating them long enough to get their dollars. That's my issue. So I hope this is a lesson for a lot of us to pay attention to how these people show up. Let me know your experiences in the comments. This might not be the only video I do. I might do a part 2. Let me know what you think, and I'll talk y'all later. Bye.